So we're here in Barcelona with Diogo Ferreira. So, what do you do?
Well, I'm a Cyanogenmod developer. I do mainly maintaining of the previously Sony Ericsson products, and yeah, basically that's it. For those who don't know, Cyanogenmod is an open source project which provides free and open source access to the latest versions of Android. So right now we are working hard to get Cyanogenmod 9 out, and
so you one of the guys there? You're one of the Cyanogenmod team, kind of?
Yeah, I'm one of the developers. I usually do integrate with the rest of the teams to actually review stuff and get devices ready for public consumption, basically.
So you concentrate on Sony?
I mainly do. I'm a maintainer for the HTC Desire, and but previously during the last year I've been working more on the Sony devices.
Why?
Just by chance. I mean, Sony approached us and asked if we wanted devices to develop on, and I said, yeah, sure. And then it just happened. So we maintained maybe 2 devices, and then we started sending more devices. So
let's unbox this one.
Sure.
This is the newest one, right?
Yeah. So this is the new Xperia S, and I think it was just launched on Monday. So I think it's a really nice phone. And as you can see, I think the phone is really nice to the touch. And there's this transparent lining on the back, on the bottom part of it, which is really nice.
So there's some transparency going on here.
Yeah.
And
there's this 12 megapixel camera, which is actually quite amazing. And displays like 720p, which I find actually very nice.
It has battery, hopefully, to turn on.
Yeah, I think it does have a built-in battery. So.
Yeah. All right. So there's no. It is changeable battery or not?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. It's on the device.
But it's actually possible to open it here, right?
Yeah, you can open it.
But it's not changeable battery.
It's not easily, at least.
You have to unscrew like 12 screws and
probably
lose the warranty, maybe.
The warranty, yeah.
But that's because people like making it thinner, I guess.
Yeah, I think we'll see lots of devices having built-in batteries.
So right now I filled the serial number. Are people going to be able to hack me or something?
No.
No?
I don't think that.
Or take advantage of something?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
So this is a cool phone, right? You heard that. What do you think? Is it the best phone right now or something?
It's not the best phone right now, but it's certainly on par with what's going on in the rest of the market. And
so why is it not the best? Which is the best?
Well, it depends on what you are looking for. It's hard to objectively define what the best phone in the market is. But this one is really close to that. So if you use it, you'll notice that the screen has a very high resolution, which makes it a pleasure to use.
Is it 720?
It's 720p, yes.
Which is just completely awesome. That was the thing, right? At Mobile World Congress, all the new big phones, they have that resolution. But this is probably one of the best, right?
Yeah, I think so far, for me personally, it's the best phone I've ever used in a day-to-day basis.
You would say that it's better than this one?
Well, it depends on what you are looking at. If you look at specific points, I mean, I like the display on the Nexus, on the Galaxy Nexus better. Still, this one is very good in several other things. I like more the external design.
So, Cyanogenmod is quite crazy, amazing, right?
Well,
I mean,
that's what they tell us.
Basically, you're doing the software for Sony.
Well, they don't end up using our software, but other Sony clients usually end up using it, so they can upgrade to newer versions. Yeah.
But I mean, you're not just one guy, are you? I mean,
we are around 40 to 50 people at the moment. It's hard to say how many we are because there's lots of external contributions. Still, I'd say that from the contributors, the regular ones, we are around 40 or 50 people.
But in the Sony camp, is there
Sony camp, we are around 3.
3. So you 3 guys, Sony is a huge company, you 3 guys, and you basically take care of the software for them.
Well, in the context of Cyanogenmod, yes. which is it's actually not that's hard. You know, like integrating devices with Cyanogenmod is usually hard when you have to do like all the hardware support parts, but you usually try to find common things between different devices. So we are working with the guys working with HTC and with other devices that use the same underlying platform, so that we don't have to do as much work, and that works out for us. Since for the Xperia line, for example, we share lots of code among the devices, and that helps us a lot. So just now, I've just merged the patch to Cyanogenmod 9 and support for the whole 2011 line of Xperias.
So the memory bandwidth you were saying is even faster than OMAP 4? Is it on par?
I can't objectively say so.
Yeah?
From my experience, yes, I think it's a tiny bit faster, yes.
So everybody's catching up with OMAP 4 memory bandwidth at least?
Yeah, and I saw some benchmarks from the Intel Medicals, and the memory benchmark is actually pretty amazing. They have easily double what the other guys have.
So is Android awesome, or could it be better?
Well, I think Android is pretty great at the moment.
It's pretty what?
It's pretty great. There's lots of rounds of improved it. And I'm actually looking forward to what Google comes up with the next versions.
What can it do?
I mean, everyone was already saying it was awesome before, and they dropped ice cream sandwich, which is really great. So I don't know.
They can do better, you think?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
how about you? Can you change ice cream sandwich and make jelly bean before it comes out?
We can't make jelly bean. I mean, it's hard to define what jelly bean is. I mean, anyone can take Android and actually make their own thing. Amazon did. Still, that's not the business we are into. We usually, what we do, is we get Android open source support for pretty much every device out there, and we just that's essentially it. And we don't actually change the core fundamental parts of the Android experience.
Okay.
What we do is we add small stuff that usually people will enjoy having on their.
You remove all the crap, right? And you just make it cool.
Yeah, it's a very close to vanilla experience, plus some added stuff that makes it great.
So don't you think Sony should like work with you to make it in one button in the menu? Like one button to go on Cyanogenmod, like one button you get to vanilla on every of these phones, and no breaking, still warranty. Why don't they do that?
Well, traditionally the mobile phone market is very closed, and I don't think it's in their interest to actually support the whole lot of problems that would arise from warranty issues, user experience problems on changing from two different software. So, and it's hard for them to actually support two different branches of the same thing. So I think that's the main reason.
But they're a big enough company; they can support a second mode and just make the manual just a little bit thicker.
Yeah, but I mean, you know how companies work, right? They're there to make money, and every single one is like that. And if that represents some more cost, they won't do it, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are fundamental reasons by which some OEM would never actually ship with a Cyanogenmod, and mainly because of support problems. I mean, if they go from Google Base, they can always run to Google for support if they really need to. Still, with Cyanogenmod, it will be more of an adventure.
So do you agree Sony should give you some like $5 million?
Well, we don't work for the money, you know, it's a volunteer project, and to be honest, I'm not sure what would happen if we had lots of money. I mean, we only want to cover our own expenses, so I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we started a fundraiser for new servers for our nightly builds, and the community was amazing, and we met our goal for buying the servers, and actually that's all we need since it's a spare time project. Yeah,
but wouldn't it be nice to like have a boat and go program on a boat on the beach, on the Atlantic or somewhere?
Yeah, we could probably do that, yes, but.
Or private airline, private jets is cool. No, have you tried?
Yeah, private jet would be awesome.
Did you go on some private jets yet?
I didn't, no.
But why not? They should just give you free, unlimited private jets.
Cyanogenmod private jet.
I mean, come on. And so. Do you think there's going to be less fragmentation with ice cream sandwich?
I think so, yes. They introduced lots of new stuff that actually helps developers fight fragmentation. So What happens is right now you can have a single integrated look on your application, no matter how the hardware vendor will change the ROM. So you can actually go to the Orange and show a vanilla user experience to user as an app developer, and that's great. Yeah.
But not as a user, not as a consumer.
For the system-wide parts, it's not easily changeable. No, you can't actually just click a button and have a vanilla experience.
But most of the fragmentation is not so much the UIs, right? Still, it is a bunch of work, but it's mostly the chips, no, the hardware.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly the different hardware. Usually, for my personal experience on Cyanogenmod, the main problem is maybe different platforms. This from a Cyanogenmod point of view. From a app developer point of view, which is usually why you hear about fragmentation, because you have to target different development people, and basically you have to support different versions of Android. Right now, there's a big gap between 2.x and Ice Cream Sandwich. Okay, and the problem is that it's a bit hard for the application developers to support it. Still, Google is trying to actually fight that with support packages. And well, it's actually not that hard right now, but it's still a bit of a problem. Yes.
But basically, in like 2-3 months, every device that was released in 2011, most of them can come to Ice Cream Sandwich officially, or Cyanogenmod, kind of.
Well, we are working hard to actually provide support for most of the phones we did support before. However, there are some which have other limitations that won't allow it, like low a low amount of RAM, or not enough storage on their NAND chips. Still, we are working on the other ones, and right now we have many of them fully functional. So we have some of the Qualcomm platforms are working great. The Nexus devices obviously are working great. Galaxy S, Galaxy S2 are pretty close to being done. So we are slowly getting to it, and we'll have a release ready in due time.
Don't you think that even devices with less RAM can somehow, there will be a tweaked version of ICS maybe?
Yeah, I mean, there will always be people who will actually try to port the Ice Cream Sandwich to their device. But at Cyanogenmod, usually what people expect from our stable releases is that the hardware will work and they will have a pleasant experience. And if we can provide the pleasant experience and the full functioning experience for a device, we will not ship a stable version of it. And so, yeah, from us at least, if a device is not good with Ice Cream Sandwich, we won't support it officially.
So how do you come into the team? What did you do? You followed the forums and you were good?
No, actually, I never actually did any Android development before. And what happened was I bought this. I had the HTC G1, the first Android phone, and it was really nice. I liked the interface, the vanilla experience was amazing actually. And then I bought this HTC Desire, and it had Sense on it, and I usually don't like Sense. I hated it. I bought it because it was so similar to the Nexus one. I thought people would port Cyanogenmod into it, but then it was taking such a long time, and so I just stepped in and started porting it with another guy. And so we integrated the HTC Desire with Cyanogenmod on version end of version 5, beginning of version 6. And at the time we had like 4 or 5 devices in Cyanogenmod, and maybe 8 people working on the and right now we have a lot. For the Gingerbread branch, we have around 80 to 90 devices with around 40 or 50 people, which is actually amazing.
So how many devices did you break?
None.
None?
No.
It's not so easy to break, right?
No, I mean, people usually say that their phone is brick because they just did something wrong, but usually brick means a very specific thing, which is you can't actually turn on and you can't actually do anything with it without sending it to warranty or without actually flashing it with special purpose tools. Still, maybe there are some devices which are breakable, but for most of the ones I've worked with, you have several bootloader level of protection that won't allow you to actually break the device.
Alright, so there was something about Samsung hiring some Cyanogenmod guys.
Yeah.
Sony should do it as well?
I mean, lots of people in Cyanogenmod are approached by companies to actually work on it. Still, it's a separate thing. I mean, it's natural if a company that works with Android tries to hire someone with an Android experience.
Sony, for example, wants to help you, know?
Sony has been really nice recently. During the whole 2011 year, they provided us with unlockable controllers with lots of devices for developers, and that's actually a really nice thing to do. But we have a good relationship with other OEMs too.
But I mean, this is an example. These devices that it just showed here at Mobile Congress, that Sony is kind of stepping up and like saying, okay, now we're going to be a little bit more serious about it, even though they already were kind of not. They were kind of dominating Japan and a few other markets, but now they're like, okay, now we're gonna take over, right? Now it says Sony, not Sony Ericsson, and now we're gonna.
Well, it will be interesting to see how the market reacts to these phones. I mean, I think they are pretty great, and they are on par with nice devices in the market at the moment. So I guess we'll see. We are also working on Cyanogenmod for this particular device, and we'll have it ready also in a while.
So what were you doing at Mobile World Congress?
Well, I was pretty much having some meetings, talking to people. Nothing very serious. I don't even wear a suit, so.
No suit?
No suit.
But you checked out all the cool phones?
I did, yes. I checked out pretty much everything there.
Did you see the Panasonic?
I don't think I remember seeing the Panasonic ones, to be honest.
Fujitsu?
Fujitsu, I saw Fujitsu.
You see how thin it is?
Yeah, they have really nice devices that I never saw in the market. No, I was talking to them. I think maybe they will. Maybe they'll launch it next year. Yeah. They have some partnership with Toshiba, so.
But I didn't see. I did see the Toshiba screens somewhere, but I didn't really see Toshiba devices. Maybe they had a booth. I don't know.
No, I mean Toshiba and Fujitsu joined apparently last year, and I think they will be putting devices together on the European markets during this year and the next.
Because at CES, Toshiba showed many crazy screen sizes for tablets, but I didn't see them here.
Yeah, they're probably partnering with Fujitsu. But
So,
really nice ones.
So what I'm what I think happened in Japan is that the Japanese government sat down with all these Japanese companies and said, okay, now you have to get yourself together, and we're gonna be big in Android.
Maybe, yeah, that explain it. But there's no need to think about government conspiracy. I don't think so, no. But I mean, everyone wants to step into the mobile market. It's a booming thing right now. So.
That's why I think it's cool to see Panasonic and all these companies like, okay, now we're gonna go crazy with this.
Yeah, I mean, mobile at the moment is the technology that you foresee as the future platform. So everyone is trying to step in, otherwise you'll be left back and. Probably out of business, actually.
Don't you think that all the custom UI should be just deleted and every phone should have vanilla Cyanogen by default?
I'm not going to answer the question as a Cyanogenmod, but I think yes. From my point of view, Android should be vanilla. Okay, but I understand what they are going for. I mean, it's hard to put a device on the market at the moment and make it different from the other devices. So they try to establish their differences by a visual, a different visual kind of experience from their competitors. So I understand what they're going for, but yeah, personally, I would prefer if every phone out there was vanilla.
And what Google is doing is quite good work, no? I mean, it's kind of hard to do the next version of Android, right? You can't just like have even 40 guys, even if they're the best hackers in the world, it's not really enough to like take Android and make it like 5.0. Like Google really needs 1,000 engineers like to do that, right?
It's not just an engineer thing. I mean, you have to go through all the concepts, designers, lots of engineering decisions, because it's very complex to build a generic mobile platform. Okay, so every single decision must be made with care, and that shows. Like when they have developer APIs, they are done with very special care to make sure that they can support it forever for the next few versions. So yeah, it's very hard to actually make a nice product, a nice finished product. And we have problems with that with Cyanogenmod, so it's hard to actually go through the whole development cycle. Doing a new version of Android must be much harder.
So it makes sense that Google is kind of like the big force behind an Android, and even though it's an open source project, they kind of like have their own like internal development before each release, kind of.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
It's a model followed by lots of people, and we actually did that before in Cyanogenmod, but now we are doing everything out in the open. Still, I understand also what Google is going for, because the mobile space is so competitive at the moment, and you can't afford to actually show your trade secrets before it's time to release them. Your competitors will just take it away.
Basically, Apple, Microsoft shouldn't see what 5.0 is about.
Yeah, I think that's the rationale behind it.
And all these big companies like Sony, they are invited, they have badges, they can go to Google any day they want, right? They can see what the next one is going to be.
It depends.
So they can kind of like develop things in advance. But you should have access too, no? To the Google headquarters.
It's not exactly like that. I mean, not all OEMs have early access. And, for us with Sandwich, I think they had early access maybe 2 weeks before everyone else did. And so it's not as it's not like everyone has in big OEMs has access to the next version of Android.
You don't think?
No.
You sure it's not?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not. But for Cyanogenmod, I understand also. We are not a company. You know, we can provide warranties that we can sign
NDA?
Cyanogenmod wide NDA. We have some people in Cyanogenmod have NDAs with specific companies, but they are individual NDAs. So we aren't exactly a company that can sign a company-wide NDA, since we are an open source project.
But you should definitely have access to the Google private jets anytime you want.
Yeah, I want access to Google private jets and the free ice cream sandwich and jelly.
Ice cream. What else do you want them to do for you, Google? Just send you a message. Maybe they'll listen.
Yeah, sure.
What else do you want?
With what? Sorry.
You would want to like have a badge and access Google headquarters anytime you want. Would that be cool?
That would be cool, but we can live with what we have at the moment. I mean, when some release drops on us, we are already overworked, and since we are a spare time project, we wouldn't be able to actually enjoy all the being constantly working with an open source thing.
I have a theory that maybe with 5.0, maybe even very soon, you know, like Android is such a dominating force in the market, like so huge. Everybody else is finished, and at that point, it can be like the process can be daily open. Like they can open, like some people say it's real open source, where the whole process is open.
Yeah.
And at that point, maybe they give you badges and they're like, just come over there, do whatever you want, anytime you want.
Well, who knows? Only future will tell, I guess. Yeah, it would be nice to actually have an open source kind of environment, but yeah, the pressure from the mobile industry doesn't allow it at the moment. But it would be really, really nice, yes.
And it's also kind of fascinating to see that all these parts of the world are going to be connected to the internet thanks to smartphones.
Yeah.
And that's what you're working on? I mean, you're working on the smartphones.
Yeah, we are helping, and if you look at the map, we probably have a Cyanogenmod user everywhere in the world. I'm not sure about the stats, but I think we were in 1,300,000 people, 300,000 people. So
how many?
1.3 million people. Users, active users. Yes, that just to report statistics. You probably have much more.
So there's an example of ice cream sandwich on which device?
This is the Sony Ericsson Xperia Neo, and this is Cyanogenmod 9. This is an early version, okay, but pretty much everything is working. You can actually see that we have hardware acceleration, UI acceleration, like cameras are working. Let me just find it. Yeah, cameras are working. What? It doesn't work. It did work though. Still,
is this like a...
It's a very early version.
Early version?
Yeah, an early version of Cyanogenmod 9 for the Xperia.
What is the CPU on that one?
This is a 1 GHz.
8250 maybe?
It's 8250.
Yeah?
8250.
And is it hard to get into all the core parts of the processor and accelerate everything?
Yeah, one of the hardest problems for us usually when importing a new device is actually the hardware interface layers. Okay, so actually hardware abstraction layers, where you build the glue between Android and the actual hardware. Okay, and the problem we are having right now is that from gingerbread to ice cream sandwich, the hardware abstraction layers changed significantly. And they changed in a way that you need changes across the whole platform, from the kernel to the hardware abstraction layers to the user space, to actually make a platform working. And for Qualcomm, it's one of the hardest for us at the moment because it changed the whole way they do hardware acceleration. But we are very happy with the results, and right now we have everything working in that regard. Yeah.
Why did they change everything to make everything smoother, faster, better?
Yeah, I mean, Google changed the core fundamentals of how the graphics stack works. So now we have like shared color spaces. Previously we had like different color space for each device. That was kind of a mess. But right now you have a more consistent experience, and the whole accelerated thing is tied together with the framework and with the Android system. So the changes are to accommodate for that and to actually provide the better user experience and better performance for that use case.
So actually what you're doing is crazy high advanced hardware optimization, software optimization work, which is kind of, that's what you do, no?
Yeah,
otherwise it doesn't work.
We do lots of things. One of them is optimizing for performance. Yes.
So you get an ARM SoC, you get, for example, OMAP 3, for example, and you go and play with it. Is it a Beagle board you play with, or
like sorry?
If the next OMAP 4 comes out, you get one of the Beagle boards, or and then you start working there, or you only work on phones?
Cyanogenmod can work on anything. Android can work on anything.
Yeah.
But if we get like a new OMAP 4 device, OMAP 4 devices, the support is already on our tree. So we already support the Galaxy Nexus, and we already support some other OMAP 4 devices. So we can just take the hardware support from those OMAP 4 devices and actually provide support for it pretty quickly. The problem arises when you have to add support to a new platform. For example, Sony Ericsson announced the Xperia P and Xperia U, and they have ST Ericsson Score. And basically we'll have to do a whole lot of work to actually support that specific hardware.
But the ST Ericsson core is going to be in more and more phones, so it makes sense. I mean, it's going to be really the affordable dual core.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really nice phone and a really nice phone core. And I think we'll see more of it in the future. Yes. So we are adding support in the Cyanogenmod tree for that specific platform, and we'll hope to see more people using it.
So if you see the next OMAP 4 device, like say the Motorola Razr or something like that, or some other OMAP 4, and you already have Galaxy Nexus, how much work do you need to do to
usually when it depends on it always depends on the specific case, but usually not much. If we already support the platform, it's very easy to add support for a new device.
So it's like changing something like headers, or what do you change?
Well, we do. It depends on the specific device, but usually what happens is we teach them the build system how to build that for that particular device. Okay, so what kind of hardware parts are in it, what parts of the system it should use, and what parts it shouldn't. And basically, we have to just teach the build system how it works. But then we have a whole lot of problems because each phone has a different camera, each phone has a different radio interface, and so we have to work on those items in specific for each phone, and that usually takes a while.
And then there's different GPUs.
Yeah, usually GPUs aren't a problem because GPUs are so closed that yeah, we have to use what they provide, and that's it.
The OpenGL stuff?
Yeah, usually that's so closed that we have no option other than actually use what comes with it.
You think it's going to be more open?
I don't think so, and not for the moment at least. Traditionally the graphics business is very, very closed.
And then there's the DSPs?
Yeah.
The ISPs?
Yeah, those are usually very tied together with, well, since they are in a system on a chip, they're very tied together to the actual graphics performance.
Because supporting all the videos can be a problem, right?
Yeah, and it's one of the things that people sometimes complain about with Cyanogenmod, because you can't actually distribute proprietary codecs for like Xvid or things like that. So yeah, it's a problem at the moment. Still, we try to do as much as we can while staying open source and free of trouble.
But